Hello, guess who's here?
I'm here, and thank you for inviting me to your live stream.
But,
A little dad joke to start things off.
did you guys catch that one?
Live scream. Yeah, I was
Live
just thought of it when I was
scream.
in the shower getting ready to put on my brand new Scream shirt that Haunted Hippie's mother bought for me. So breaking that out.
That's what we call her, by the way. Haunted Hippie's mother.
Haunted Hippie's mother.
Well,
I have a lot of energy today. I'm just going to tell you. It's Friday. It's sunny.
we just went
We've
for a
seen
walk.
some movies lately, so I'm pumped up.
Oh yeah, we're having a good day. Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Although I wanted to get all dolled up. My mom didn't get me a Scream shirt, so whatever. So I wanted to get all dolled up, but then I woke up at 10 this morning. I slept in like a lump on a log. I don't know what was going on. I slept for like 10 hours last night though. Then we went for a walk and I just showered and I feel great. So let's see who's here before we get into things. Let's go. Yes, absolutely. Horror Tori. Oh, you're going to watch it tonight? Okay, I hope to see you tomorrow then, because tomorrow we're going to rank the franchise. We're going back to back. It's a Scream weekend. George is going to be popping in and out. No worries. Try to contribute where I can. Yeah, that's fine. Rob has some opinions. Yeah.
Of course, Rob has opinions.
This one, I've noticed that with Scream 6, since I put my review out 2 days ago, there's definitely more of a divide this time around, which I was kind of surprised by because I feel like Scream 6 was an improvement on Scream 5, but everybody seemed to love Scream 5 when it came out. I really didn't get many negative comments on my original review. So
yeah.
Interesting. Oh, and Anthony is here. Appreciate that. Ready for Kylie to share her Scream wisdom. Oh, yeah. Edward is here too. Hello. And Corey made it. And Amit, hello. Oh, nice shirt. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is a nice shirt, isn't it? Oh, you want to hear my thoughts on the coordinated double knife wipe? Do you remember that moment?
I think, but
it's
like
after,
usual, you're kind of going to have to lead me to it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So spoilers starting right now, by the way. But yeah, so it's right after you think Chad dies and the two ghost faces both... they wipe the knife together. So that's a classic thing that's been done throughout the entire franchise. I can't remember if they did one in Scream 4. I don't remember, but yeah, it's in almost every single movie.
That was the brother and sister that did that in the theater.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was badass. I loved that, honestly. Oh yeah, Matt, this is a nice surprise. I know I didn't put you on the thumbnail. I haven't put them on the thumbnails because
I begged her to give my opinion of Scream, which is so uneducated.
Yeah, he really wanted to be here, but just because we never know if he's gonna end up having some work call or whatever. So yeah, so he ended up being here, and nice little happy jump scare for you guys. Hey, Rebecca's here, and Geek Muscle and Gory Tiger is here. You can't say having not watched it. Okay, no worries. Queen has arrived. I know we haven't done a live Scream in a while. It's been a while. I don't remember the last time you were on here, but my last stream was over a week ago, I think.
I don't know. Did we do one maybe since you got home or not? I'm not sure.
I don't think we have.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a little while. Quinn was awesome. Hey, I'm glad you're excited. Hey, much love chat, much love Kai, made it here in time. Good to have you. Very good to have you. Juan made it, and my chunky Jordy. Hello, lovelies. Hello, Night Owl. And Jiggy, hello. Oh, you watched it for the second time this morning. I've seen it twice. I went to theaters twice. My dad has seen it once, so I went the second time with him. And I think that when I get back down to LA, I'm probably going to go see it again because it has a lot of problems, but I really enjoyed it, and I want to see it again in theaters. So yeah, rocking the shirt. I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, Witchy Hippie. Similar name. Hello. Let's see. Oh, you haven't been able to be here for a hot minute. Yeah, I'm glad you made it. And tomorrow will be a weekend one, so hopefully everyone can show out as well. Let's see. Oh, hey, T. Parker Evans is here. Still love Scream 5 and prefer it over 6. Oh, interesting. We'll get more into that tomorrow, I think, when we talk about our ranking. Hey, John, good to have you. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. I personally like the movie, but found the reveal a little underwhelming. Same. I think we'll probably just kind of jump around today because, yes, my review was 51 minutes long, but I still feel like there's a lot that I kind of missed out on. So we'll kind of let you guys guide the conversation if you'd like. If there are things that I missed in my review or just things in general that you guys want to talk about, let us know. But oh my goodness, we have a big crowd today. Yes, a live stream to lighten up the work day. Absolutely. Oh, my boredom is saved. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm glad to hear it. Oh, and Desi made it. Good to have you. Hello to all the haunted cult. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Why don't we start with just your general thoughts on Scream 6?
Well, we haven't talked about it.
No, we haven't.
We walked out of the theater and then you started bringing things up. And I said, well, aren't you going to have me on a live stream?
Yeah, that was his only concern.
That seems like 2 weeks ago is part of the problem, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember as much in detail. And I didn't put it on Letterboxd, and so I didn't know when we were going to talk about it. So I just remember walking out thinking, this was pretty good. I have come to enjoy. I've seen everyone in the series outside of side project things that Rob or somebody might bring up, maybe that it's in a cartoon or animated, but I've seen the 6 films, and it's the only one I can say that in the film genre, in the horror genre. I liked it, and I was not let down, but I also know that there'll be tons of comments about things that I didn't notice, or things I noticed and I didn't know they were bad or dumb, or just because I'm a
casual
boomer
fan.
Baby.
You're a boomer and a casual fan. But because one thing you said when we walked out, because I did start to ask, because I couldn't help it. I wanted to know what he thought, because this is, like he just said, the only horror franchise that he's seen every movie in, that he actually was kind of invested in and enjoyed the franchise, the whole franchise. So I needed to know how he felt. And he just said, I was really entertained. I thought it was good. I'm really glad we just, we went to see that together. And but then you also said something really funny. You said, but I can see how people like you will probably have lots of problems with it. I don't know what those problems are.
Yeah, I did.
You said something like that.
Well, I did say that because I said I can relate to it because of Star Wars and Indiana Jones, some of the ones that are longtime favorites of mine, where I might be harder on them because I know them better.
Sure.
Seen them multiple times, where right now I've only seen each of the Scream movies one time, and I've only seen one of them in a movie theater, which was Scream 6. So I just figured I know how this works. I'm learning more and more the more I'm involved with Haunted Hippies channel and live streams, that there's a lot of stuff that went over my head, and you guys will just have to put up with it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm still glad to be here.
Yeah, basically. Let's see. Okay. Oh, hey, first time catching a live stream. Good to have you. Love you and your content. Yeah, I got mixed reviews. Love the movie though. Same. Oh, favorite kill. I don't even. I don't know if I could say. I feel like my favorite sequence was probably the one with Gail. If you remember, it was her first ever phone call with Ghostface in her apartment. But I do get the complaint. A lot of people complain that, why would she ever leave her bedroom or her closet or whatever? Because she's done this before. She has her gun. If she just stayed in there, there's only one point of entry for Ghostface. Although I don't know if that's true, because I thought maybe her balcony kind of wrapped around and he could go around through the door or something, but I don't know. I didn't memorize the layout of her apartment by any means, but then she didn't die, which I don't know. The lack of stakes, I think we'll get into. Let's see what else.
I thought she was going to die,
and I thought it was a really impactful moment. I did too. I thought it would have been a good moment to say goodbye to her.
I did too.
But yeah, in all the interviews and stuff, I featured them in my review, but the directors were talking about how they ultimately decided they didn't want to kill off any of the legacy characters. They just they had conversations about it and stuff, but they were just like, no, we just
they're a gold mine.
Well, I know, but
they're a gold mine.
It only works for so long. And also there's all the meta commentary where Mindy is talking about, we're in a franchise, everything is bigger and better, and the legacy characters are just cannon fodder at this point. And they don't even follow their own rules. And always, like, my favorite things about the Scream movies is they lay out these specific rules and whatever, and then they do fun things to subvert them or follow them, and it just didn't. It was underwhelming for me. I didn't enjoy that they they did that. And same thing with like Mindy and Kirby and everybody that it didn't, because somebody left a comment about, there's a line of dialogue in Scream 4 from Kristen Bell, which talks about there's something so real about a guy with a knife who just snaps. And they were complaining about how in these newer installments, they're kind of taking the reality out of it. And so some people don't like that. I've decided to just be like, okay, I'll just enjoy the heightened reality. We just saw John Wick yesterday. We've been watching all the John Wick movies, which talk about heightened reality and surviving absolute nonsense. So I've just decided to enjoy it because that's just going to be their style. But I do think that one or two of the legacy characters should have died. I don't know. How do you feel?
I don't know it well enough to tell you guys that I have a good opinion about it. I don't think that would be fair. And watching John Wick, which Kylie had never seen before, and we powered through 3 of them here at the house, and then we went to the opening yesterday. I liked all 4 of them, and I realized that, Kylie said it first. She said these are like slasher movies, and the more I watched it, I realized there was some big similarities between the John Wick movies and Scream, as an example, and other slashers, but Scream in particular for me, because I like both of them. And I could pick them apart, but I like both of them because they're making fun of each other, but I'm also getting scared and worried and on the edge, and then having callbacks to other things that you're looking for to go, oh yeah, I remember that. That was really neat. So I can't pick it apart. And I walked out saying, there's some movies that I go out of that are a second movie or a third, or I haven't seen as many of them, where there's 5 or 6, and you go, oh man, they shouldn't have done this movie. I don't feel like that at all about Scream. In fact, I can't wait for the next one.
I can't wait for the next one either. And it's different to when Scream 5 came out, because Scream 6 was greenlit immediately. I think it was during premiere weekend when they announced that Scream 6 was going to be coming out this year. So yeah. Oh, I agree with this. This film was Melissa Barrera's chance to really shine. I completely agree, because I know you won't be able to talk as in depth about this, but Sam just was not that interesting to me in Scream 5, and I loved her in Scream 6. I think the writing was quite a bit better in some cases, and in others not so much, like with the stakes and everything. It just, because I feel like the stakes are also how I care. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because if there's nothing to really lose, then why would I care? Why would I be so invested? Do you know?
Well, I do understand, because I can use the analogy of John Wick here too, because I really care that John Wick keeps making it and making it and making it through the movies. Yeah. So I have a very invested feeling, and there's a few characters in those movies that I really care about as well. Mm-hmm. So just because I know them better, but I understand exactly what you're saying. In these movies, you have these characters and these scenarios that you've grown to love throughout a franchise. Yeah. And if they don't hit the mark for you, then it kind of hurts a little bit. And I could understand that. I think the thing that I personally got the biggest kick out of was the museum in the old theater to Ghostface. The shrine. I really liked the shrine. I was talking to Kylie about John Wick, because a hotel in John Wick is one of the characters basically through 2.5 or all 3 of the films. And I really liked that touch in this movie. Mm-hmm. For somebody like me, it made it very interesting because it was unique compared to, the other things that had happened before. Being in New York made it different, which was fun and cool.
I love the setting.
I really love the setting. But I really liked the shrine and that whole idea in this old movie theater. I was like that type of thing in a theater. So that's really one of the things that I think of the minute I start thinking about Scream.
Yeah, I mean, my only frustration is that in interviews and stuff, the directors talk about how they were excited to get away from constant homages and to start taking the franchise in a new direction that was more their own. I don't think that Scream 6 was doing that in any sense of the word. I think it's hilarious that they would say that when there was a shrine to the entire franchise in this movie, and so much of the plot and the killer's motives and everything and the relations of the killers was so similar to Scream 2. It almost feels like they're remaking the original Scream trilogy to me.
I
just with
kind of
different
felt
characters?
I kind of felt like that at the end when we find out that it's the three of them
Yeah.
standing on the stage in the old movie theater / shrine to I did kind of feel that way. I thought,
Yeah.
because it's the same two directors that did 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did feel, and I saw bits and pieces of you watching interviews, and I have not seen your YouTube yet. I wanted to wait until after we had this so I wouldn't be completely influenced by you and just parroting things that you've said. But I thought after listening to parts of their interviews that Kylie was listening to, that this one in particular would really start to take a different angle, really take a different angle.
Yeah.
Which Star Wars, you make fun of it, whatever you want, but they've had the guts to take different angles over time, as an example, right?
Right. But you have to bear in mind how hated those different movies are, because Rian Johnson was one of the most hated directors in Hollywood for a long time.
He did Rogue, right?
He did The Last Jedi, which was the second movie in the newest trilogy. It was
I know
hated.
they were ripping him
to the point where Scream 5, the commentary is all about toxic fandom. It was to the point where Rian Johnson was supposed to have a cameo in that movie, because he is the guy that completely exemplifies that, and all the Star Wars toxic fandom stuff. People made petitions. He was probably getting death threats and stuff, which is crazy because I thought The Last Jedi was wonderful, but whatever. We got some.
Well, look, I'm not as hip as they are, but I just think overall, I appreciate, as a guy that saw the original one when I was in 7th or 8th grade, and they still bring me back when The Mandalorian comes out, or if they had another Star Wars movie, I would go see it. But they've yanked me all over the place where I have to ask younger people to kind of explain over time. I have had to put things in perspective as far as prequels and sequels and all of those kinds of things. But they've kept it interesting for me.
Yeah.
And I thought this movie had a chance, new setting in New York, etc., to really kind of pull all the Scream fans a little bit different direction.
And I thought they'd pivot a bit more than they did. But
pivot is a good word for that.
It is, isn't it? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, thank you for the tip, Desi. Appreciate that. If 6 had actually gone through with some of the big kills, this one could have probably made it to a higher rank for me. We should have lost Mindy and Gale. I know you don't know the characters as well, so I don't know if you can answer this question, but I think we should have lost Gale. As much as I love Gale, I'm sure that in my predictions video, I said that I don't want to lose Gale, but I think we should have. And then Mindy, I don't know. I feel like we should have lost Chad. I don't know. I love Chad and Mindy pretty equally, but
that's the brother sister.
I don't know. I don't know if I could say Mindy. I think I just love Mindy too much.
But they're still alive, right?
Yeah.
Chad and Mindy
still alive.
Nobody
died.
Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Everybody died, but nobody died.
Exactly. You think everybody's dying, and then nobody does.
Wow, you're right. I guess that was part of it. I thought, okay, they're going to lose a couple of these people as they continue to change things and have new things come in.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie,
they don't.
None of them die.
Okay, well, so what are your thoughts on this? So the directors say the original is such an evergreen classic because the characters that you love survive in the end. And that's why it's such a classic, which I can agree with. But then also, I don't know if I guess they are seeing themselves on the same level as the original or something, because they're also keeping everyone alive. But then I don't like, it's the 6th movie.
Yeah.
It's the 6th movie. I don't know. I love that the characters that I love survive, but I need stakes, and the group has gotten too big that there's only like 3 or 4 or 5 other side characters that could have been the killers,
Yeah. I mean, to me, not being the expert that you all are, to me, it's Tara and Sam that are the new people. I mean, from my perspective as a neophyte in this, they're the new people. And you even had to remind me that the original core 4, as he called them,
they're the core 4.
Core 4 are all lived through this. So I don't know. What are we going to New York now, or Boston, or Miami with the same core floor? Or
I mean,
what?
now it's
they're
going to
be college transfer students.
Well, now it's gonna be now it's gonna be like 6 of them though, because then we also have Kirby and Gale.
Oh, that's right, because we got Kirby too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you for the tip. Yeah, so I think that Chad should have died as well. It was so tough. I start tearing up in that scene because I love Chad and I didn't want to see him die, but it would have been such an impactful moment. I think one of my someone here, I think it was Desi, she has talked about in Scream 2 how she kind of loved that Randy died and then Dewey died because it was such like a good 1-2 punch kind of a thing. And that's how I was feeling because, you know, also the girl that played Tatum in the original, she's like, you have to kill your darlings, you know, it's their characters that we love, but it makes the movie so real. It's, you know, because the stakes are so real. And yeah, I don't know. I can only believe.
Well, because you're part of what you're watching the movie is part of the reason you're watching the movie is because you want to see if the people you're emotionally invested in live or not.
Right.
And if they always live,
then it's like,
which is, you know, take another one, an old one from my day, but Rocky is a good example. You know, they just Rocky kept coming back and back and back. And the original Rocky movie is one of my top 10 of my entire life. But you know, there has to be a point where
you draw the line,
and they should have done it, you know, 5 or 7 earlier years in the Rocky thing. And I think this is a good analogy of that, where, okay, yeah, we get these characters, but everybody's getting older, and this really was about younger people mostly, you know, except for the Gales and the Deweys, but you know, eventually the main character Sydney, but. So I do agree with you. I think there needed to be, the movie didn't shock me. That was the problem. I did not ever get shocked. I was shocked that it was the brother and sister. I wasn't shocked that it was the policeman.
Yeah. Oh no.
I wasn't shocked about that. And the fact that the core 4 survived, there was not anything where I walked out and just said to myself, "Oh wow."
I mean, I guess I was shocked when Chad lived because I thought that after I thought that after letting Gale and Mindy survive and, you know, Tara getting so brutally stabbed in the stomach and everything, letting all of them survive after what they went through, I thought, okay, for sure we just said goodbye to Chad.
So die.
But no. But no. So thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. Hello, Kylie and Papa Matt. We still get some Papa Matts.
There you go.
I love Scream 6. Saw it 3 times. Oh, my ranking 1. Oh, 6 is your second. Wait, 6 is your second favorite. Oh my gosh, love the shirt, Papa Matt, on point. Absolutely. Yeah, hopefully, the rest of you guys make sure to save your rankings for tomorrow because we're gonna redo our rankings. Thank you, Rob. I like Scream 6, but it felt like more of a cash grab to me, nostalgia bait, a wonky plot, and unkillable returning characters. 6.75 out of 10 for me. That's very specific. What would you, speaking of, because you still have not logged it on Letterboxd, so what would you give Scream 6?
Well, I went back right before we came on here to see what
you did it?
To get, no. Oh. I went back to see what I gave Scream 5.
Which was a 2.5.
2.5, yeah.
I gave a Scream 5 a 3.
Yeah. Well, I would give it a 3 for me.
Okay, so better than Scream 5 then.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways.
Plus, I saw it in the theater for the first time ever I saw a Scream movie. For me, it was so cool. I was going with Kylie to a theater to see one of these classics.
Yeah.
That was fun in and of itself. So I know that prejudices me some to be in the theater.
No, I think it's a theater movie, definitely. I feel the same way about Scream 5 too.
Those horror movies like that. I mean, to see them on the big screen, I mean, the kills are killier. The fears are fearier. I mean, it's just, it really is. Let's be honest, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. See, Mycadelic seems to agree. I felt like the Shrine brought Woodsboro to NYC a bit, not necessarily realistic or New Direction, though. Yeah, what did they even said the shipping costs were astronomical or something.
To move them there?
Yeah. So I guess they're kind of, the movie was poking fun at itself for that. But yeah, just kind of.
Well, I can imagine that cost them, you know, considerably more money for that location. shoot that they did. And
they did it in Montreal, so I don't think it was anything crazy.
You told me that.
Yeah. So they were in Canada.
Well, it looked like New York to me, so.
It did. No, I really loved the setting of it. Also, crazy enough, I didn't include this in my review, but the subway scene, they built that on a stage, and they had the real train that was on a track that would go in and out of the station cool. in the studio. They built that. It's crazy. Yeah. I know. Movie magic. Oh, so the museum and the theater really took me out of it. I find it completely unbelievable. There's no way that would happen in real life. One reason it just kept taking me out, that all the signs kept pointing to Detective Bailey, because Gail was in there and she's talking about, well, cops like money, they can be bought, whatever. And there's, and it's Bailey and Kirby in there. And I'm like, okay, so obviously it's one of them and it's definitely not Kirby. Anyway, see, I
thought it was Kirby for a long time, though. Personally, I was thinking it was Kirby.
Oh my God. There's no way. There's just no way. Because I don't think these
I'm
writers,
no expert, but we weren't talking about it. I was thinking, because from the beginning, I'm going, okay, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? That's the fun anticipation. I mean, I also had the Detective Bailey on my list, and I also had I had Ethan on my list. I never had Quinn on my list. I definitely had Kirby on my list.
Kirby, I didn't. I guess, I don't know, because I am obsessed with Scream 4. It's one of my favorites of the franchise, and I love Kirby. And I just didn't think these writers had the guts. I honestly I just knew it. Yeah, so this is what I was saying. I feel like they're remaking their own trilogy, and I feel like it's going to be on purpose. So I don't know. I'm curious what you think they would do with Scream 7, if you think it's going to be closely tied to Scream 3. I don't see that happening, because I don't really see them going back to LA or, necessarily doing a commentary on the movie industry, because that's not anything that any of the core four are involved in. Like maybe with Gail, because she sells her book rights to make movies and stuff, but I don't really see that happening. We need to move away from Gail.
It seems like a cop-out. I think they should go to the quantum universe and do it.
Right. So I have a Patreon video coming out either today or tomorrow. We talked about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's not good, but we'll get into that on Patreon. Thank you for the tip. So the plot idea that I feel like could have improved Scream 6, having the killer revealed in the beginning and having Sam killing and revealing Ghostface mid-movie. So this is interesting, because I was disappointed in not, the ending and the reveal was not that impactful, because like I just said, it felt so much like Scream 2, where if you remember Scream 2, it's Mrs. Loomis. So Billy is one of the killers in the original, and Mrs. Loomis was his mom. Oh yeah. And there's the whole showdown, and it's also literally on a stage in Scream 2. Yeah. At college. And so he just brought up, the opening of the movie where Ghostface is revealed after he kills Samara Weaving. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it would be interesting and unique to, go through the movie through the killer's perspective, because imagine how much more commentary there is to explore with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I felt like the commentary is really lackluster. I didn't ask you about that, but do you remember, in the commentary in every movie, slashers, sequels, trilogies, remakes, requels, and then this one was like franchises. I don't know. Yeah.
As far as them using that as the
meta commentary, as like the meta through line.
It wasn't as good as previously. Yeah. That kind of analogy, right. I didn't think was as impactful as some of the other ones.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's kind of like just an obvious
it's so obvious
kind of thing, franchise. I even know I may have had to learn what a prequel is and a requel or whatever, but I know what a franchise is.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
McDonald's, Burger King, those kind of things. No, I mean movie franchises. That's right.
No, but I think the issue is that it was already a franchise.
It was so easy. It was like lazy screenwriting, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was lazy screenwriting.
So I think it would have been interesting if we kept, that Ghostface in the beginning alive, and then maybe we got kind of a Ghostface on Ghostface kind of a thing, because one of the original plan for Scream 5 that just didn't get greenlit was we were going to follow Jill as she went to college. She's one of the killers from Scream 4.
Yeah.
And there was going to be another Ghostface taunting her. So it'd be like Ghostface on Ghostface. And I was thinking, oh, cool. Like, that is very cool. So we'll get, the perspective of one Ghostface while he's being hunted by another or something. But no, it was far less interesting than that. Although of course, like, you can't make everyone happy. That would have pissed people off too. But yeah. I mean, just think of all the meta commentary there would be with that, because Jason and Michael, they can't speak. Freddy can, but all he does is drop one-liners. So it'd be really cool to have a killer where, throughout their process, they're giving us the commentary. I don't know. Thank you for the tip.
I know, but that still goes against.
Well, yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Look, I don't know. It would have been a pivot. Okay.
It would have been a severe pivot.
Yeah. Okay. I never got around the Scream films. I decided to watch them all each weekend. Oh, leading up to 6. Well, I have my issues with some. I've enjoyed them all. Oh, good. Yeah. I mean, that's basically, no, you binged
I powered through them.
You binged them.
I did.
Yeah.
I binged.
Yeah. If 7 is going to be the last for this trilogy, we could see a bloodbath. So I would hope that in the very last movie, we do say goodbye to some legacy characters. I feel like that's only right, because then we'd really be saying goodbye to them if this was their last. I don't know if they plan a trilogy, or, because Scream is so alive and well right now, if they'll kind of just keep going and going. I don't know what the future holds, honestly. I couldn't tell you.
I think that they'll keep making them until
the wheels fall off.
Until the wheels fall off.
But
because it doesn't have a main star. Like 2 things I brought up. John Wick, okay, it's Keanu. Right. I bet he said, okay, this is the last one I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
I did this, and then I did the earlier one in the 90s and early 2000s, The Matrix. I've done those 2. Yeah. I'm not doing them anymore.
Right.
I bring up Sylvester Stallone in Rocky. At some point he was done with it. Yeah. But in Scream, really, especially for people like me, you can just keep going.
You can keep going.
You can just keep 1 or 2 people as a thread, and that's it. And then you can just keep going. You can change locations and situations and all that.
I know.
You just need multiple people to guess if they're the killers, and you need one of those masks, and that's all you need.
True. True.
I mean, have you looked how well is Scream 6 doing at the box office?
Oh, it's
right. I mean, anything
broken records for the franchise.
Well,
let's see how it's doing now. After this weekend, it'll be interesting to see. Let's see, Scream 6.
It's so hard right now to find winners at the box office. People that want to go to brick and mortar theaters like me. That why would they stop? There's just no reason to stop.
Let's see. So. Okay, so it's the last time they reported on it was 4 days ago. So they report after every weekend. So as of 4 days ago, so more people have probably seen it this week, it's made $116 million worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's
how many horror films do that?
Right.
None.
It's
Really?
Well, okay, I mean, Halloween, that's the only franchise that's bigger than Scream, probably.
So the latest Halloween that I did see at the theater, I guess I was wrong. I did go see. No, I did not see that in the theater because I was waiting for you, and it was
the new
gone.
Trilogy. You haven't seen the new Halloween trilogy. You've seen only the first 2 Halloween movies.
No,
right?
So that Halloween probably did well over 100 million, I would imagine. So
but it had such a steep drop. No, Halloween Ends only made $105 million, and that was after Halloween Kills made $133 million. So and the one from 2018, 255 million worldwide. So because Halloween Ends was bad. People did not like Halloween Ends. Even, casual fans and diehard fans, we all didn't like Halloween Ends. So people stopped going to see it. So it's already beat out the last Halloween. So that's saying something. Because
that's saying something, and it's going to still keep, because it's one of those ones that people like to rewatch at the theater.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. Thank you for the tip. I quite enjoyed Mulroney's campy performance. Really, he came across as deranged while also having a manic episode. For me, they're just a little dark. I could not stand. We haven't talked about this. I couldn't stand his performance, Detective Bailey. He's so just goofy. I'm glad that some people enjoyed it though, because for me, it completely took me out of the movie. I would give anything to have enjoyed his performance, but oh my God. And I like him as an actor, but I don't know. Do you remember? So there was that line that he just brought up. For me, I don't really watch the Stab franchise. For me, they're just a little dark. And then, he's going on this whole, like, that is funny in theory, but his whole, you mess with my family, you die. He just was so intense all the time, which is why I was so sussed out by him. And then in the end, he's so over the top and goofy, but other killers that I brought up, like Stu and Mickey, it comes across a lot more authentic to me. I don't know. Do you remember enough? How you felt about Detective Bailey?
Well, for me, because he was very recognizable to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know from which movies or TV shows, but
he's just been around.
Very recognizable.
Yeah.
So when that happens in a movie for me, it does kind of take away from the movie, because I keep looking at the person and saying, what else have I seen this person in?
Oh.
No, really. I mean, in lots of movies, I feel that way. Sometimes a well-known or just a character who I know as a movie actor takes away from things a little bit. So, he was middle of the road to me. I didn't love it like that person said. I didn't hate it like you did. It was, at the end, it was over the top the way he's just screaming.
Yeah.
With my family and.
Yeah, right. So I thought that Ethan and Quinn were fine. I think that their performances were pretty good. Oh, Jack Champion, who played Ethan, he's also in Avatar: The Way of Water, which I didn't realize. He's one of the kids in Avatar. Anyways, I liked them. He was the only one that I really had a problem with. But also the fact that Ethan was just such a nothing character for so much of the movie. He's just there.
Yeah.
He quite literally in one scene, he's just there to be eating chips. He's just eating Cheetos in the van. Do you remember that? When
but I think that was very, very intentional.
Yeah, well,
I think they was trying to take you off the trail.
I know, because I wasn't expecting there to be a third killer. I thought that was cool. That was the only moment that kind of threw me off. And it was the first time there were 3 killers. I want to see 2 girl Ghostface killers. I want to see 2 girl killers in the next one. That's kind of like the only thing left they haven't done that they should do. Because there's always a man in the mix. But anyway, thank you, Desi. Scream 3-7 could start with Mrs. Meeks being killed to bring them back to Woodsboro. Yeah, it goes back to something you think you know, but you don't. And Stu lives. Oh, God. We have to talk about Stu. Is
Stu Sam's dad?
No. That's Billy. But Stu is the other killer that killed alongside
I know
Billy.
who Stu is.
Okay. Matthew Lillard, yes.
Yeah,
so I agree with this, because I think that they should bring back the twins' mom, the Martha Meeks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Chad and Mindy, their mom.
Who was the sister of
Randy.
Yes.
Hey, right. look at you.
I'm learning some
look
of
at
it.
You. Yeah. So I'm impressed. I am. So yeah, I think that would be fun, because for one thing, we're gonna get to the Stu theory. Because I know we're all gonna be split on that. But so the reason why I really want to see Martha Meeks back, especially, is because the twins they're not twins in real life, but yeah. So Mindy and Chad, those actors, Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding, they repeatedly pitch that they should cast Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as their father. So I really want to. I really want to see that. So if they bring back Martha, then we could meet their dad, whoever he is. And then, and then maybe it would be Dwayne Johnson.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then they could both be the opening kills or something. And then that brings them back to Woodsboro.
Wouldn't that be quite a deal?
Yeah.
They could talk him into it.
I know. That'd be so random. But it would kind of make sense, because Mason is a big dude. He's kind of a beefcake, big guy.
He absolutely is. And I watched some of those interviews you were watching. He's so charismatic.
He's so charismatic
as a person.
And I think that's why they can't kill him off, because with all the marketing they do, Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding are so funny. They're so charismatic. They have such good chemistry on and off the screen that, not only do you fall in love with their characters, but the whole cast, you just love them as people too, you know? So that was a tangent.
Well, I like those. To me, and I know this is sacrilege, but I like those 2 in this movie better than Sam and Tara. personally.
So me too. But
Sam came a long way from the last movie, which I didn't really
yeah.
think much of Sam or Tara in that movie. They came a long way in this movie, but they're still a little milquetoast to me. Where the twins or the brother sister,
yeah,
they've got interesting edges.
They're kind of the comedic relief, you know.
They are.
So they're not as fleshed out as characters as people, but they are just so enjoyable when they're on screen.
They are,
you know.
And what are they going to do in the next movie about Sam and this whole "I'm a psycho killer" really because of Billy? That's what I
see.
They just leave that hanging. That's something that they can keep in the back as long as they have her as an actor,
right?
And do more movies, because I don't know about you, but I continue to wonder, where's this going to head? Is this the movie where it really, I mean, obviously part of that was shown in this movie, but still they're leaving this out here about her being the psychotic killer. I'm not working right now.
It's got a work call. Okay, so I think it would be so cool because they set it up so well in the beginning of this movie, and it was probably just to throw people off the track and get people to suspect Sam and whatever, which I weirdly never did. I don't know why. Sam was never on my suspect list, even though they keep playing with this. But so I thought it'd be so interesting the way they set it up. You know, Ghostface reveals himself and then he's killed very early in the movie. It'd be cool if Sam sort of became a vigilante and she was another Ghostface in the movie, but I guess that also would go along with like the Ghostface on Ghostface kind of a thing, you know, where she would be more proactive and she would be the one going
searching
after
out Ghostface.
Yes,
people.
And so she would then become the killer.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. They keep dropping these little clues and these little threads, and I don't know the way that they talk about it behind the scenes and sort of crafting her character. It's just they just kind of describe her as, you know, she's a new kind of final girl. She just kind of has this darkness in her, and so it's just she's just something new and fresh. So I don't really see them taking it that far. I would love if they would.
Yeah,
they would do something different and make her a killer. I personally would enjoy that.
Look, if they end up doing another trilogy, I definitely could see them doing that, because I keep waiting and thinking, okay, what's going to happen? They're setting this up for us.
Yeah.
You know, this has to meet. Okay, she's used that to defend the good against the bad so far.
Right.
But
so far. And she really likes it.
Does she cross the line?
Right, exactly. Exactly. And I don't know if she will, because, you know, she's a good role model. She goes to therapy. She's, you know, doing her due diligence. She's trying to work through her stuff, get Tara to work through her stuff even. So I don't know if they'll take it that far.
But that scene with the therapist,
yeah,
where he says, you have to be honest with me, Sam. You have to be honest.
Right.
And then she decides to really be honest.
Yeah. It didn't work out well.
It didn't work out well. And that's where I thought, okay, this movie, I don't know where this movie is headed now.
Right.
Because of that scene where she said, and I think I liked it, or whatever the line was.
It felt right.
It felt right. And I thought, whoa, where is this movie going?
Right. Yeah. Someone brought up an interesting point, and then I want to circle back to the stew thing, because we have not talked about this. So I think this is just a good point. Part of me hopes there's a longer wait for Scream 7 for commentary's sake. I'd rather wait 2 to 3 years with the film having more to talk about instead of another quick turnaround and grasping at straws. That's exactly how I feel, because I think I said in one of my reviews, or maybe it was on Patreon, I talked about the fact that maybe this franchise works best when the movies come out every 10 years, because I think of how many new trends come out, you know, within a decade and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I think maybe 5 years is kind of a happy medium. Because also, if you think about it, all the 2010s, it was, you know, The Conjuring and Insidious. Those were the biggest franchises of the 2010s. It was paranormal. It was haunted house stuff. It was, you know, and they didn't even touch on that in Scream 5. They touched on elevated horror, which was the trend of the late 2010s, you know, and Jordan Peele and that kind of stuff. So I think every 5 years. What do you think?
Well, I would agree with that, but as it always goes back to money.
Yeah.
And those two directors, I saw them when you were watching them. Those guys, I'm going to guess, are in their early to mid 40s. I mean, they're not going to want to wait. And so then they'll just have, you know, who owns Scream?
Spyglass has the rights
Spyglass.
now.
So, everything has to be timed by people. Like the people that are running Spyglass right now.
And Paramount. Spyglass and
I
Paramount.
thought it was Paramount.
Yeah.
So those people, they need to make as much money as they can right now and be as successful as they can for the company, for their jobs, for their own prestige and all of those things. So I think that's one of the reasons having them back-to-back years like that, I thought it was cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, I did, even for me, just as I feel that there should, in any of these, in my opinion, there should at least be one full year without
we went
movie.
We went 14 months, but they started shooting Scream 6 like 5 months after the release of Scream 5.
They seemed like they were right on top of each other.
Really quick turnaround, which means that it was only in development for like 5 months before they started shooting it. So yeah, I think they should take a little bit more time with the script. Try to craft something that's genuinely new and fresh. Because I think I have a lot of problems with Scream 5, but all the commentary was really relevant. That was really impactful to me. I left the theater loving that movie. It was only upon a rewatch that I realized the rewatch value wasn't as high as the rest of the franchise. But I loved Scream 5 when it came out. I thought it was really fresh. So yeah, I don't know. Corey thinks that it's going to have a 2024 Halloween season release. I think that'd be really fun. It's been interesting to me that they've released them early in the year because this is generally kind of a dumping ground for movies that won't make as much money. Maybe it's smart because it doesn't have any competition, but also
that part of it is so true. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but right now, listening to other people smarter than me, but seeing it a little bit myself because I go to the movie theater so often. There is not much competition, obviously less than ever now post-COVID in the theaters themselves, in particular for theater releases. There's not a lot of competition. And if you got something like Scream, you're going to hammer home and do 100 million plus.
Yeah.
Because there just aren't that many good movies so far this year, the first 4 months of the year.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway. And, I've seen several different kinds of genre movies, but there hasn't been that much.
Yeah. I mean, like,
be
for
more
example,
fun around Halloween, though. I kind of agree with her.
Yeah. And because Scream 6 takes place during Halloween.
Yeah.
It's odd. It'll be more of a Halloween season rewatch for me, I think. So it'd be cool if they did, shell out and give it a Halloween release, especially because, now the Halloween franchise is done for now. I don't know when they're going to start back up again, but they're done for now. So they wouldn't have that competition. It probably would be the Halloween release, I would say.
Absolutely.
I mean, so
and Halloween of 24 to me seems like enough.
That seems reasonable. It seems reasonable. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if they waited 2 years, if they released it early 25 or something like that. I mean, we wait for 2 or 3 years for every season of Stranger Things. I can wait. It's fine. But
well, The Mandalorian, which we both liked.
Mm-hmm.
How long was that? That was a couple years, right?
Yeah, I took 2 years off.
And it really made me want to watch the new one.
Yeah, the new season's been good.
Yeah, even if it wasn't good, it's still that bit of time instead of just one after the other, differentiating itself from episodic streaming television.
Yeah,
where it's just one after the other. It just gives it some more of a special feeling.
Yeah, definitely. No, we talked about the fact that we really like Peacock as a streaming service. We like Peacock.
They actually have some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, and HBO Max, and just talking about quality over quantity.
They don't cram as much stuff on there.
No,
just have a full offering.
Because Netflix is such a cesspool of content. You have to really wade through so much muck to find good stuff. But anyway, so getting back to our spoiler chat here. Thank you for the tip. One of the core 4 has to go in the next movie. Who do you think it will be? I think my money would. My money would probably be on Mindy, even though I really don't want it to be because she's our horror nerd character. Because now Chad has this romance with Tara. So I don't know, and. I feel like Chad is the new Dewey because they copied Scream 1 and Scream 2 where Dewey is rolled out at the end and it's a surprise that he's alive. Did the exact same thing with Chad.
They did.
So I feel like they'll continue that trend. He has the romance with Tara and Mindy doesn't have a romance or anything like that with the other core 4 members. So I feel like she'd probably be the easiest to go. I don't know. What do you think? It's really hard for me to say. I don't really see them killing any of them off.
I don't either.
Or I guess I just don't want them to die. But I
just say let's kill Gail.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Well, she doesn't even need to be in the next movie at this point. Like, Gail doesn't need to come back. I don't know. Yeah, so Eddie agrees. Thank you for the tip. Gail and Mindy scenes ruined by them not dying. Chad was a human pinata and he lived. I know. He was a human pincushion. Mindy is a poor man's Randy. No, Mindy is so much better than Randy. I'm sorry. Love Bodega, Ladder, and Subway though. Yeah, I loved all those scenes. No, Mindy is so much better than Randy. I don't know. I mean, you probably like Randy better because you relate to him more, but
no.
Randy's kind of a loser. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Mindy
she's so much cooler.
She's cool. She's hip. She's today's world.
Yeah.
I like her. She's interesting. I find her interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Randy was interesting going back, look at the film because I remember people like that. Yeah. But no, there's so much more to her in so many different commentaries.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I mean, there just are.
Yeah, well, because
Randy's just a white guy and a nerdy white guy back, but that was in the 90s, right? I mean,
yeah. So he was, he is.
I liked his role.
No, I like Randy. I do because before Mindy came along, I was like, I feel so seen by Randy. Mindy makes me feel seen in so many other different types of ways, though. That's Randy
what I
just
mean.
Doesn't.
That's
because
my point.
Randy is like every guy that asked me out in college without doing anything to impress me. You know what I mean? Because all he ever does is like, why can't the nerd get the girl? Why doesn't Sydney like me? He doesn't care about anything that's going on with her. And the one thing that just annoys me so much is when Derek comes and he's like kissing Sydney and trying to make her feel better. And she's like, oh, thank you. I feel better now and whatever. And he's actually comforting her. And then Randy's like, ugh. Yeah. Blah, blah. And it's like,
yeah, but do
you even like her?
And I think I'm using this word right. He's just a classic trope for movies.
Well, yeah.
Up until that time, at least.
The sexless nerd.
Yeah.
We call them incels these days.
Incels, okay.
And it stands for involuntarily celibate. They're a thing that a lot of women have to deal with on the internet. Are you writing that? He's writing down. It's spelled with a C because celibate. Yeah, he's writing it down. I'm teaching my dad new words.
I thought I was cool using trope, but
well, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. There is usually the nerd character. I mean, he is a step up from a lot of other nerd characters in movies because they're usually annoying, and he's annoying, but also he likes horror movies and he knows all the movies that we love.
I'm watching it. I liked it. I go, okay, we can relate to this guy. He loves movies.
I used Randy.
To love
he's just
blockbusters.
Annoying. Yeah. Exactly. I like Randy. He's just annoying. Okay. That's my only thing with Randy. I'm sorry about that, but you all will just have to deal with that.
There's a lot of annoying characters in these Scream movies.
Well, who?
Well, I don't know.
I'm trying to think who. There's nobody. Well, no, there's no. Charlie annoys me a little bit, but then he turns out to be a killer. And so it's kind of Scream 4, I feel like, is kind of making fun of Randy a little bit because Charlie ends up being the killer and he's always pining after Kirby.
Detective Bailey was annoying.
Well, his performance, it wasn't so much him as a character. It was just Dermot's over the top cartoonish kind of performance that I wasn't into. Thank you for the tip. Hoping it was a cult of Ghostface killers. Yeah, it would have been terrifying to realize there are so many, ending it with no reveal and on a cliffhanger. I mean, that would have been cool, but I don't think these writers have the guts to do that. I just don't think they would do that. It'd be cool to see in Scream 7, but with all these movies, it's like, maybe they would do it for Scream 7 because now they can almost bank on the success of these movies. It's pretty much assured. I think people are definitely on the hook now after Scream 6, and I'm impressed. I think
I am too.
If Wes and Kevin aren't involved, Kevin is just Kevin, the writer of the original movies, if he's just advising the scripts and is not really involved, I am impressed with these new filmmakers and what they've done. Despite all my problems with the movies, I'm still impressed. So I don't know. We'll see. Good points, Matt. The studios are thinking business, not art.
No.
But I think even with that, they were smart to hire people to make these movies that were such big fans of the franchise, because they are the directors and writers. They were all obsessed with the franchise. So, they got good people to do it at the very least. At least they care that much.
I agree. I looked over your shoulder on some of those interviews with those guys, and I thought, okay, that's really fun to have people that looked up to Wes Craven so much and loved the movies themselves, and then them getting to be part of the directing team.
Yeah,
it was really great.
It's fun. I mean, even they themselves say that they are making fan films, basically.
Right, they said that.
So they also kind of know their place in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think they're just having fun, and I'm happy for them. Thank you for the tip. I think Sam will become an anti-hero in Scream 7 by killing a suspect before the final act, only for them to be innocent in the end. Ooh, that'd be dark. Yeah. That'd be really dark.
I like that.
I think that's interesting.
I like that.
Do I like that? I don't know, because I've been really on board with the Sam redemption, just because I found her to be such a better character this time around. So I don't know if I would like that. But it would be shocking. So for that reason, I think I would be on board.
It'd be shocking, but it's still the Psycho Billy thing that I was talking about earlier. Well, when's that going to go full on?
That I don't.
Maybe that's 5 movies from now.
I don't know. I don't like her visions of Billy. They're just kind of ridiculous to me. But I thought it was stupid, really. Yeah. But then this movie, when she's with the therapist, and then she sees Billy later, then I kind of was grooving on a little bit. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes more sense in this movie than it did in Scream 5, but yeah. I just wish that they would actually kind of take it there. I wish also that there was another way that they could do it that wasn't so in your face, I guess, because it'd be more realistic. Because I think it's only something like 18 to 20% of people with diagnoses like schizophrenia and stuff experience visual hallucinations, and she's medicated too. So it's weird. I know that's really nitpicking, but auditory hallucinations are super common. Even for people that aren't diagnosed with anything like schizophrenia, 80% of people with schizophrenia, and then something like 30 to 40% of people will experience auditory hallucinations at some point in their life. So if he was just sort of speaking to her all the time and was more of if he just had what's the word I'm looking for? If he was more ever present, I guess, just kind of whisperings in her ear, and if they kind of built on that a little bit more, because otherwise he's just randomly popping up and
in a mirror.
And I'm like, okay, so she only needs a mirror to be able to have these hallucinations. Okay, got it. I don't know. I'm really just splitting hairs here. It doesn't really matter that much, but I'm not a super big fan of the hallucinations. Let's see. Okay. See, I'm almost caught up on the chat. Nice. Oh, it wouldn't make sense to make Sam a killer at this point. I don't know. I feel like she's getting she in Scream 6, it was her coming to terms with and embracing the darkness inside of her, and even Tara having an acceptance of that darkness as well, because she's standing right beside her when she kills Bailey. Even Tara kind of gives her the nod, because Sam is despite whatever you think of me, I'm not a killer, I'm better than that. And then Tara's like, and then
that's right. That's right.
And then just eyeball.
Oh, it reminds me a little bit of the what's his face as the young Darth Vader.
Anakin? Wait, what?
Who's the actor that plays the young Darth Vader?
Christian.
No. Anyway.
I don't know what
the famous actor that is a famous actor now.
Yeah.
No, you haven't said his name. Anyway. He because he's fighting with the good and the bad in that movie.
Yeah.
And
wait, from the prequel trilogy.
You know who I'm talking about. We just saw him in a movie. He starred in 65.
Oh, Adam Driver. He's not young Darth Vader. Oh my God.
Okay, sorry.
He's.
I'm not a.
He's the son of Leia and Han Solo.
Right. But he's trying to be the young Darth Vader.
He's the grandson
I look
of Darth
at him as trying to be the Darth Vader, And I personally,
he's his
I
grandson.
flashed on that during this movie, thinking, okay, when she was in the therapy session, going, which way is she going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a lot of that with Adam Driver, where you're constantly kind of wondering where's he going, what side is he going?
Yeah, the
that's
dark
just
side
an analogy I could give off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And I'm the therapy session at the beginning of that movie. Yeah, the first kill scene was great. I was wondering what the heck was happening. It scared me. It was great. But then the next thing that really got me was that therapy session and what she said at the end of it, where
that it felt right.
Well, it grabbed me in to say, okay, let's go for a Scream ride.
Yeah.
Let's see where this is going. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the third act didn't bring anything new, just a rehash of 2. That's what I've been saying. It could have been more if they took their time with the script. I know. I mean, I need to react to my predictions to Scream 6 because I had some interesting ideas. I thought because they cast Samara Weaving, they would use her as a killer. I mean, I think I also predicted she would be the opening kill, but she's a famous Scream queen at this point, so I wish she had more involvement. That was kind of a disappointment. She's the opening kill. Oh. Samara Weaving. You have not seen any of her other movies. No. Well, she was in Babylon, but you walked out of that one, didn't you? Didn't you?
I made it an hour, I think. But
maybe like 30 minutes. I think because the movie kind of calmed down after that.
Torturous.
I know. Yeah. The store kill scene is something else. Yeah. And speaking of that, I just love that the horror was back in public spaces. I love because that's what Scream 2 does so well. There's the death in the theater and Randy is killed in broad daylight in the van. And Scream 6 was doing all of that on the subway, in the bodega.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh. Yes. I love that. Oh, I just finished season 1 of Yellow Jackets. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, didn't feel Sydney's absence, but would have been amazing if she used the modulator against Ghostface. I thought this could have happened if she made up with the producers and filmed a last-minute cameo. The modulator? What's that?
I'm not sure.
Is that the voice changey thing?
Oh.
Or I don't know.
I think maybe that's what 123 Rock Fan is saying. It's the modulator.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I did not miss Sydney.
I didn't miss her. I want Sydney to live with her family and Mark and
she's gone through enough.
She's been through enough. I get the idea that she's sort of like a Sarah Connor type where, she could just keep surviving and really she is the beating heart of the franchise and all of that. I do get that, but I think in order to keep because at its core, it's a whodunit franchise. And to keep that fresh, I'm fine with Sydney being happy and off living her happy ending. Like I am fine with that. I do see both sides of it. I do, but I want her to live and be happy ultimately. Yeah. So I'm okay with that. Oh, Mindy and Chad's dad should be Dwayne Martin, Joel from Scream 2. Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy. Be the best way to bring him back. I like his character a lot. Joel is Gail's cameraman in Scream 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's like, I'm getting out of here. He literally just gets in a taxi and leaves. He's like, And
then he comes back at the end. And,
yeah. Him and Martha could have met after Randy was murdered in Joel's van. True. I might steal that for my Scream 7 predictions. I really might. I might. That's such a good point. Let's see. I think I saw there was a tip somewhere. There was. I'm just way behind. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank you. Mindy and Chad's dad should be Joel from this was the one that I just read. Funny that coincidence. Thank you for the tip. And thank you, Eddie. It's just a love-hate franchise because it goes from scary to Scooby-Doo-ish with awful reveals where killers forget how to kill. Six's Ghostface was brutal and badass until the end. It's final girl, not final people. I don't know. I like the duo of Sam and Tara. I like them together. I think, something that someone brought up, I think it was Mike Adelic in his comment, was I think the only way that they could really subvert and break our hearts in Scream 7 is if Tara is the final girl and Sam is the killer, which I think would be crazy. It's, sisters, if Sam ultimately kind of crosses to the dark side and, Yeah, she's kind of the opposite to Kylo
I know, but
Ren.
this thought does not surprise me because that's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Is where is this going?
Yeah, right.
And as you said earlier, just a few minutes ago, and I'd forgotten about it, where she's saying, I'm not a killer, and Tara's looking at her and kind of smirking.
Yeah.
So I like that, and I could definitely see that happening. I mean, I really could see that happening. I wouldn't have it be in the next movie if I were in charge of the franchise.
Okay.
I want to squeeze some more money out of this, so I at least have it go one more with Sam and Tara together.
Plus, to maybe build upon her darkness even a little bit more, because I don't think she's at a breaking point yet.
No,
I think we
not.
We should milk
we just
that
got
cow
another
a little
taste.
more.
We got another taste at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
But she's still the good person.
Exactly. Which I mean, would I be mad if they took that away from us? Because she, to me, is one of the most relatable final girls that I feel like I've ever seen, because so much of the time, and I mean, I love my classic final girls, but they are, so I referred to Sydney as sort of the perfect moral compass.
Mm-hmm.
She's so, which I then went on to say is only relatable to a point, because we all have our shit, man.
Right.
Like, we all have our shit. And it makes Sam so relatable to me. So would I be mad if they flipped that and she fully went to the dark side? I don't know. But I also would be interested to see that. But I don't know. Could they flip her to the dark side and still have us love her as much? Could they do that?
Which they did a little bit with Kylo Ren in Star Wars, right? They did a good job of that in that one. That was the thing. And I know there's probably a couple other characters that I can think of in movies, in the last 10 years that do that.
The morally gray.
Yeah, where you're just going, boy, I feel guilty rooting for them, but I'm still kind of rooting for them. See, I like this added to the recipe, so to speak.
Yeah.
Besides the whodunit part, I'm wondering what's going to happen with Sam. I will say, when I watch that theater, while I'm watching that movie, that's one of the things that I'm thinking about. Where is Sam headed? So
do you like her as a character? You're just interested in her, or
Yeah, she's fine. I mean,
okay, so you don't have like an attachment to her. You're just you find her interesting. Okay.
No, I don't.
Interesting. I do. I kind of have an attachment to her now. I really like Sam now. Let's see. I think the hallucinations is more of a projection of her own struggle with accepting her dark side than anything else. Now that she's accepted it, maybe it will stop. Oh, maybe. Or maybe whenever he pops up, she'll just be like, "Hey." I don't know. I think the mirror is necessary for Billy because she sees him in herself and fears it. Oh, good read. She only sees it when she has to face herself. That's a very good point. I thank you, Desi.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah. See where you're coming from. With more deaths, they help to increase the tension and stakes. Or making everyone survive and seemingly indestructible destroys the stakes and tension. And the tension is one of my favorite things about Scream. I mean, maybe it was kind of a misstep in Scream 4 that they basically killed off all the other side characters except for the original trio. So they didn't really set anything up for new characters to be there. But at the same time, the deaths in Scream 4 and the tension and everything in public spaces and whatever, they brought all that back. It was so much more effective, I think. Whereas with Scream 6, it's only going to be effective probably the first time you watch it. Like the second time, it's going to be fun. But even the latter scene where Annika dies, then it's coming, and all your favorites live. So it kind of, on my viewing when I was with you, I was not on the edge of my seat by any means. Whereas sometimes with the older Scream movies, like Randy's death scene, it's so long and it's so built up and it's out in public and everything. It still kind of gets me because also, we like Randy. We don't want Randy to die. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. Like the characters that die in the earlier Scream movies, I actually like them. So it actually matters. Whereas all the side characters in the new movies, I'm like, I don't care. And I also don't care that they're the killers because they're just not as memorable to me, So in terms of...
I get that.
Yeah. So
I do. I get that.
I'll ask you in terms of the reveal, where what's the shock value like for you with the reveals of these newer Scream movies as opposed to the older ones? Do you remember what was maybe the most shocking reveal to you out of the franchise?
No.
Nope. I don't think so.
Rob said that I need to brush up on my Star Wars characters. And Rob, look,
Yeah.
it is so true. Like I said, I have to go to younger people to suss out everything. I know the first three.
Yeah.
The first three Star Wars that
was
came
his
out.
time.
But beyond that, you're right. I don't know them. But I still like to call out to them sometimes because, like, you all have these Scream and Halloween and all that. You know, my Star Wars is that for me.
Right, exactly. That's because the first one came out, you were a junior in high school.
Yeah.
So that's very, very, very impactful times. Thank you for the tip. Someone with schizoaffective disorder. I think Sam saying Billy's ghost could have been handled a lot better. She's still an awesome character. Yeah, it's very, I mean, not to split hairs. It's just really not an accurate depiction of mental health issues. Which I don't, whatever. I don't love it, but I'm not gonna continue to be so picky. But I'm glad to hear from someone himself about it.
No, because that happens in a lot of other mental diseases like that.
Are you gonna turn that?
Yeah.
Get another work call. What do they think?
I'm tossing that out of here.
Okay, we need to finally circle back to Stu. We need to talk about Stu because someone brought it up like an hour ago and I keep forgetting to circle back to it. So Stu, Billy's partner in crime from the very first movie, got the TV smashed on his head.
He died in the first movie. We think.
So this is where a lot of people disagree and a lot of people still want to bring Stu back.
I figured that.
It's referenced in Scream 6 for the first time.
About the TV.
About Stu's death. Yeah. So Mindy and Kirby are talking to each other, which, by the way, we should have got them talking to each other a lot more and nerding out about horror movies, but whatever. So they're looking at the TV that killed Stu Macher. And then Mindy, I think it's Mindy who says, if you believe he's really dead. So they're poking fun at the online fan theories and online fan discourse and everything about, is Stu really going to come back? Is he dead? And the directors, they keep this mystery alive too. Yeah. Because one of them will say, you guys, Stu is dead. And then the other director will say, well, we don't know. And then the producer goes, yeah, I mean, it depends who you ask. And then, because they say that one of their writers really wants to bring him back. I think Stu is dead. I think it's too late. I just don't think I could really suspend my disbelief as much as I love Stu and love this franchise and am willing to forgive all of the lack of stakes and heightened reality and people not dying. I just don't think you can do it at this point because Kirby is in the FBI. Surely she would know whether or not Stu was dead or alive. She'd be able to find him as an FBI agent, right? But she didn't know about Richie's family. She didn't know who Detective Bailey was. She didn't look into that. So I don't know. Maybe she's not that great of an agent. So all of this to say, what do you think about the return of Stu? Has it been too long? Did the TV really kill him? Could he have survived that?
I would be a hypocrite if I said, well, that's a stupid idea.
Okay.
Because when Luke Skywalker came back in Star Wars,
but he didn't die.
Whatever, but a lot of people just go, "That's stupid that Luke Skywalker is back in the movie." To me, it was, wow. After all these years, I'm a middle-aged guy, and here comes Luke Skywalker again, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I didn't think he was alive. I mean, if you would have asked me, is Luke Skywalker alive? As a Star Wars fan, I would have said, no, he's long gone.
But he never died in the original trilogy. What are you talking about?
I understand, but bringing back a character like that, it does seem kind of dumb. But would it be fun? It would be fun. From a critical standpoint, like you do on live streams with people and you do on your YouTube channel and things like that, I could understand having that ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Because another example I've already been bringing up, but it's Rocky when they brought the Creed series out, which I thought was really good. And I just went to the latest one I thought was pretty good. But the first one, here he is again after all this time, and I loved it. So
So you would love
putting aside the criticism of it, could it happen because his head went through the TV and all of that? But if you put that to the side, would it be fun after all this time, over 20 years?
Yes.
It would be fun.
It would be fun.
Especially if the Stu character is still around and is still an actor. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean Matthew Lillard, he's doing things.
Okay.
He's doing all the things. He got cast alongside Josh Hutcherson, remember from the Hunger Games, PETA?
Oh yeah, PETA.
Alongside PETA in Five Nights at Freddy's, which is this video game adaptation that people have been clamoring for years. Blumhouse is doing it. So he got cast as a lead in that. So he's kind of coming back to horror and he's doing things. So I mean he's expressed that he would come back. But
well, of course he would come back. I mean, he'd make some serious cash to come back.
Yeah, especially at this point.
Yeah, but the fact that now I'm spacing on the guy's name.
Who? Describe.
One of the core four.
Chad.
I mean, Chad was dead.
Yeah.
Come on, Chad was dead, and I thought his sister was dead. They were dead.
Yeah. But
I kind of felt like this is corny. They're still alive. I really. In that particular case, Chad for sure was dead. I
described it as his lifeblood was literally pouring out of his mouth. But the issue with
I'm still okay with it, by the way.
No, okay. The issue with Stu is that it's been so long with no mention, with none of these other characters knowing that he's alive somewhere. And so the theory goes that his parents essentially paid, like they paid the police and the press hush money, and they sent him away to some sort of institution to live out the rest of his days or whatever, and then he breaks out, and then or he's been orchestrating it from,
or it could be that, or he just got away and started a whole new life, and it's been this thing inside of him all this time, and he got a whole new identity, and moved to somewhere in Central America or something. Nobody could find him with facial recognition. And I mean, I get it, but still, as a movie fan, would it be fun? Yeah, it would be pretty fun.
It'd be fun.
The first people that went to see it, would just be going, wow, Stu's back.
I know, but the thing is,
of course, they ruin all that ahead of time, right?
Exactly. There would be a problem with it because there would be announcements and stuff. I don't think they could keep it a secret that, he'd be cast, because obviously that'd be a bigger role. So there probably would be casting announcements and stuff. So,
that's too bad.
Yeah.
That's too bad they can't have complete. I mean, it was interesting when you were watching the interviews of the people for the presser for 5, and they talked about the different scripts and all that, so that nobody would know exactly what was happening, which I thought was smart and cool. And
but they kept everything a secret basically up until shooting, but by shooting, everyone had the complete script. So I don't know why they did that this time around, because I don't know if everyone knew the killers. No, people didn't know the killers of Scream 5 until they started shooting it, because even at one point, Jack Quaid was under the Ghostface robe, and there was another actress talking about how she didn't even know it was him under there. So they really kept things more secretive for 5. I don't know why they changed their tune for 6. And then also, apparently some of the killers got leaked online before Scream 6 even came out. So I don't know. They really need to get that sorted.
That's why I like to stay in my little pod here, and I'm not too much on the internet. And I don't watch trailers because it's so much more fun.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I walked into Scream 6 and I didn't know a darn thing.
Didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know anything.
Did you know it was in New York? Did I tell you that? Or
I don't think so. I don't think I knew anything. And I love going to movies that way.
I know. It's so hard for me because I can't. I mean,
I know you can't do it in what you do now. You just can't do that. But
I mean, I just I'll mute certain words across all my social media. I'll mute Scream 6, Killers, that kind of stuff.
You can do that.
Yeah, but even so, stuff is still gonna fall through the cracks. So. You feel like Quinn deserved more screen time in the Ghostface reveal. She seemed the closest to Richie and had the most attachment to him. Kind of hate how she died. I don't know. I was kind of fine with it. I think when you have 3 ghost faces, it's not going to be as personal. You're just not going to get as much time with them. But she was the only one that really shocked me, because I did think that she was dead.
That one did shock me.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I think. Oh, and this is a good point. Jill was the most shocking reveal to me, to do it. Me truly thinking she would survive and be part of our main group of survivors. Me too, because they set her up as our new final girl. You know, like she would be one of the new legacy characters, the new Sydney, if you will. But then she was the killer, so obviously they had to rework that for Scream 5 a bit. See, thank you, Desi. The police board has a question mark by his name also in part 6. Oh, who?
By Stu.
By Stu? Oh, it does?
Oh. Good catch, Desi.
Good catch. I love all the little Easter eggs. They
right?
Toy with us so much. Because in Scream 5, the big thing was that there was a little, you could see when he was watching YouTube that there was a little interview with Kirby on the side. So that confirmed that Kirby was alive in Scream 5. But yeah, I didn't catch that. We know Stu is dead. He was electrocuted after the TV screen sliced him up in his vitals. Sure. Let's see. Anybody else have thoughts on Stu? Yeah, it'd be incredible to see Matthew Lillard return. Long live Stu. See, I know I might break the reality of Scream.
Rob wants Stu.
I know Stu lives. I told you people would be split. I knew we would be just divided on this. Yeah, okay, I agree. I pointed this out in my review. That line is so ridiculous because wouldn't they know that he's dead? There's no way he could have faked his death at this point. But shout out to Kirby for saying part 4 is the best Friday the 13th. I agree. Well, actually, my favorite Friday movie goes back and forth between 4 and 6, I would say. I love Stu, but I think he's dead. I think the next Ghostface might pretend to be Stu. Oh, that'd be a good way to lead us off the track. That'd be interesting. Yeah, that'd be good because then that'd be a relevant way to bring Sydney back because it would have to do with her past, and then everyone would be like, "Oh my God, it's Stu! Oh my God!" But then then it's not.
It's not Stu. It's somebody else.
No, he's dead. Leave him dead. It's been way too long. The man is freaking dead. I promise if he's brought back, it will not be handled well by any means in my eyes. I mean, that's another thing too. It's just if they brought back Stu, they can't win. There's no. Because people are so split on that. There's just no way they could win if they did that. No. So I don't know.
It's like when Rian Johnson did that. One of the Star Wars movies. They couldn't win. No,
exactly.
They could not win. Even I know that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not up on all this stuff, but I know that they ripped Rian Johnson. He was an outsider and everything that he did. It's just kind of funny that he's gone on to be one of the top guys in Hollywood now.
Yeah, I know. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He didn't let it stop him.
Knives Out and Poker Face.
Yeah.
He's doing well. Okay, I feel like if they bring back Stu, it would have to be revealed early on. Yeah, exactly. Because him being in the last part wouldn't be satisfying enough. Yeah, it'd be interesting to sort of follow him if he was revealed early on. But I don't know. Because I feel like it would need to be more of sort of an earth-shattering moment that he's there. So I don't know. It's been spoken about somewhere, perhaps in an interview they mentioned it. I'll have to look. Oh, okay.
Maybe he's been living in a basement back in home all this year.
Just been in Woodsboro the whole time.
The whole time.
That's another
He's
issue.
flipping burgers in Woodsboro the whole time and nobody knows it.
There's no way. Stu is so unhinged. The thing that is also a problem for me is that why wouldn't he have tried to do something earlier? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was the best crazy guy, the best crazy killer out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about him, and I think about that last scene of the movie when he's one of the killers and they're doing all that stuff and he's just a nut job.
He is just psychotic. He is unhinged. He lost the plot. He has. So it would have made sense. Kevin Williamson's original plan was to bring him back in Scream 3, essentially along the lines of the theories that I've been bringing up, where he, went to jail, but then he's been conducting all the kills from his prison cell and whatever. That would have been the time. I just feel like it's too late now. So, but they, these filmmakers, they love to keep the mystery alive. Matthew Lillard would come back. So I feel like at some point they probably would do it.
So they'd pull Anthony Hopkins in prison in the jail in Silence of the Lambs kind of thing.
Oh my God, if they reference Silence of the Lambs, that'd be too good. What? That might make more sense though if they revealed him to be alive earlier on in the movie. And that is if he was still in jail, like if he wasn't one of the killers revealed at the end, but oh my gosh.
And then you wondered what would happen in the next movie.
Yeah. Yeah, true. He could be a killer in Scream 8.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know. That's the only way. He would have to have a soft opening of some kind. Because otherwise it would get out that Matthew Lillard was cast in the movie. That would get out, and then we would know. So he would have to have a soft opening like that of some kind before making him a killer. We have our tinfoil hats on right now.
No doubt about it.
This is getting serious.
Earth to Matt.
Earth to Kylie. Yeah, I know. What would Stu's motive be? Would have been made for him to come back in 5 if he was alive. Sydney's happy ending would be his motive.
He doesn't want her to have one. And
he's been put away this whole time because of what happened in 1996. And so he's been in jail and he was already crazy. So, it'd be I would love to see Hannibal Lecter Stu. I would love to see that actually. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, he's crazy enough.
He is certainly.
At least he was in that.
He was. Thank you, Desi. Imagine there is a cult. You get a Stu Sid showdown, and his last words before she kills him is, "Do it. It won't matter. There are many of us, and it will never be over." Oh my gosh! Span to the news. Many cities, many Ghostface killers. Yeah, that's the fun thing about it, is because they could just keep expanding it. Go to different cities and new characters. It's the beauty of Scream. I did make a prediction that there would be a cult of Ghostface killers because I was thinking they would shake up the whole 2 killer thing that they've done for almost every movie. But 3 killers is cool too.
A whole cult would be kind of overwhelming.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to John Wick, which we just saw, where everybody's a killer, right? And having just all these ghost faces everywhere. Well, I don't know. That would get a little. Look, to me, as an outsider, what made Scream as successful as it was and is the fact that it's a whodunit, and you go to the movie going, I wonder who it's going to be this time. And inside your mind, you're adding to your suspect list. Mm-hmm. That's what differentiates it, in my opinion. So if there's just ghost faces everywhere,
sure,
you take that away from it.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you're talking about a cult in New York or a worldwide cult, or what are we talking about here?
Well, yeah, okay, then it becomes a lot less personal. But I think the idea would more so be that, the charm of Scream is also that Ghostface is always someone you know. So, it's always a friend or something. So I think the idea of that would be, just expanding the fear that these people aren't special, that really, we could all have our own ghost face in our life.
Or it could be like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and you don't know who it is.
Yeah,
sure. You're laying in bed with your husband or wife or partner, whatever it is.
And it's not really,
and you're not even sure. You're wondering, is Mary a ghost face?
It's so funny you bring that up, because Invasion of the Body Snatchers, did you notice, was playing?
Yes, I know.
You did know.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure out what the first one was.
The first one was Jason Takes Manhattan. So that is.
So I'd never seen it, so I couldn't figure out what that was. But yeah, they had the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and one of my favorite scenes, actually.
Yeah, the ending where he's just lost his mind.
It. He's just telling everybody.
Yeah, they're here. They're here. Yeah. Yeah. So there were so many sort of inside nods to horror fandom. I think that's what the new directors do extremely well, is that there's a lot of inside jokes. There's so many references to the fandom, like, oh, Stu is alive. The hate that Melissa was receiving after Scream 5 is also mentioned. Like, fan theories are mentioned in the movies. And then, because a lot of people, the whole buzz about it being set in New York when the movie was announced was, oh my gosh, is it really going to be in New York, or is it going to be like Jason Takes Manhattan? Because that is the 8th Friday the 13th movie, and it's called Jason Takes Manhattan. So you think, oh, cool, it's going to be in New York. But 3/4 of the movie, if not more, take place on the boat ride to Manhattan. So it's kind of a letdown. There's like one shot of the movie where he's in Times Square, and that's kind of it. It's like the only shot from actual New York. And then the climax takes place down in the sewer, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, they wanted to have some sort of homage to Jason Takes Manhattan in this one, and I think they did that well. Let's see. Oh, if Stu comes back, we'll be reaching to Fast and the Furious levels of ridiculous.
Oh, there's another one I've been trying to think of. That's another good one that's of this generation, right? So yeah. I don't know when the first one was, but I'm going to say they've all been in this millennium.
The late 90s? Or
was it
maybe
it started in the late 90s. I don't know. But I'd never seen a single one of those movies
either
until I finally decided to go to, I don't know, it was the last one that came out. And I just decided I like Jason Statham, and he was in the one that I went to.
Oh.
So I like Jason Statham and as an actor, and so I went to it. It wasn't bad. Look, I love cars, and you know what you're getting yourself into. But there's another one, right, where
they just keep going. And
I
hear they bring people back from the dead. And
how insane can you go? Yeah. You know, cars that drive to the moon, and you know all those different kinds of things. That's a good analogy.
Wait, the question mark is where's Stu's mask? Oh, that's why that's there. All right, we'll see. Let's see. Oh, hello. Like the shirt? I do as well. I want one. Okay, yeah. So more people have also confirmed the question mark was because him and Billy's mask were not showing up. That makes sense. Yeah, Rian Johnson knows what he's doing. I think it's cool he took a chance and did such weird stuff on such a big franchise like Star Wars. That takes Chutzpah. I didn't know that's how it was spelled. Okay. Yeah. His early films are great too. I've been wanting to watch Looper. Apparently that's a really good one. But I love Knives Out, obviously. Bringing Stu back randomly in the 7th movie would feel so much like Saw 7. This is true with them bringing back Dr. Gordon. Yeah. Oh man, spoilers. I need to get my dad to watch the Saw franchise. Yeah. That's maybe the next time I come home, because we need to do. That's one of the only.
That's what we said. You said that. Yeah. That's one that I hadn't seen with Saw.
Yeah, because we've done, all the original sort of classics. I mean, besides like Psycho and stuff, but you've already seen those before. And so we need to do Final Destination. We need to do Saw, just a couple other early 2000s franchises.
Well, I only saw the original Psycho. I mean, whatever they did after that, I don't think I've ever
They did
seen
a couple
anything.
more, which I have not seen.
I think they did too, but I didn't see them.
Yeah. This would be cool. I wouldn't mind this. I think it would be really cool if someone started a rumor that Stu was alive and responsible for the killings, and they went about their investigation based on that possibility. Yeah, it'd be a good way to kind of lead us off track, I think. Yeah, I think the new ones have been lacking in the mystery whodunit aspect, which is so essential for the Scream vibe. Completely. I had someone get really mad at me though, it was either in my latest Scream 5 or Scream 6 video, talking about how I was just nitpicking and I just wanted them to be remaking the older Scream movies because there's no Wes, and that's like my main complaint. It's really not. It's really not. It's just these movies are missing something essential from the original ones, and I haven't quite been able to pinpoint what it is, but definitely the killer reveals have not been as good in these movies. I mean, would you?
Well, yeah, except for Quinn. I mean, Quinn blew my mind. I thought, like Stu, Quinn was dead.
Yeah,
there was just no question about it. She might have been a suspect, but they killed her so early in the movie that she's gone and finished. So when she was part of it, that really surprised me. Mm-hmm. And I did, look, I didn't see obviously them being a family. That surprised me. There was the 3 of them together, a dad and kids. That surprised me.
I didn't see that coming because they did that already in Scream 2. It was Billy's mom, and now it's Richie's dad.
Yeah.
But oh well. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. Kylie and Papa Matt, who was your favorite out of the new cast of characters? Mine was really Dermot and Leanna. The newcomers, so not the core 4. I guess I would have to say Annika. She was the only side character that wasn't just completely flat. And she was the only one that kind of did something for me because I like her and Mindy. So I don't know.
That was Mindy's girlfriend?
Yeah, Annika. Yeah, the one that died on the ladder.
Yeah.
Sad. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like
I
they
have to
needed
think about
more.
that.
They needed more side characters, even the ones that only get 2 scenes, whatever. We were literally just talking about Sarah Michelle Gellar the other day, how she
Yeah.
only has 2 scenes in Scream 2, and how memorable that is.
Yeah.
They need to start doing that again because all the side characters are kind of part of the main group. They're always around, whereas the rest of this, there really aren't any other kind of side characters like other police officers or stuff like that. There's background extras. So yeah, we need more.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I mean, the new characters to me were the 3 killers.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
end.
yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to think
Plus
I mean,
Annika.
I mean, I remember
and
Annika, of course, but
I guess Kirby and Gale are kind of side characters in this. I guess. I don't know. And the boyfriend, her new boyfriend, Sam's new boyfriend, which he was lame.
Oh yeah, he was. I recognize him. I recognize him as an actor, but
I didn't.
I did, and I think he's probably been on a couple of TV shows I've seen or something. But yeah, I thought he was weak.
Yeah,
I thought he could have been a lot more. I didn't think they used him very well.
I didn't think so.
And who was the other person you just said?
What, Annika?
No, you said one more.
Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked them bringing Kirby back into it.
Me too.
I had a hard time suspending reality that she was an FBI agent, though.
Oh, really?
I did.
I went on in my review about how I felt like that was such a natural progression of a Scream survivor.
I don't remember her really. You had to tell me,
From Scream 4, she was the new Randy.
Yeah, and there's 6 of these movies that I've watched in the last 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Along with all the other movies that I've been watching. You reminded me, but honestly, I don't remember her from Scream 4. Look what I'm not going to make it up.
I know.
I just don't remember her.
You're honest to a fault.
Yeah, I'm not going to fake it. But having her join into the movie, I thought she was the best one.
Really? Oh, best side character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for sure. I mean, I guess
because I thought for sure she was a killer, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
So I thought she was a killer, and I'm trying to remember. Okay, Kelly said she was in Scream 4.
Yeah.
She was in the FBI. Why was she in Atlanta? I had mental discussions about her to myself.
Yeah. Besides the core 4, honestly, Kirby, I mean, it was nice to have her back. She didn't do everything I would have loved to have seen from Kirby in this movie, but so I would say Gale was my favorite side character, but she's a legacy character. So I guess I would say Kirby. I guess I would. I forgot because I consider her legacy, not side character, but she definitely is a side character in this one.
She was.
Oh, thank you for the tip. Yeah, the letterbox reference made me laugh so damn much. I know, but it's so funny because she's talking about people with letterboxes if they're losers. When Mindy would totally have a letterbox.
Absolutely.
Mindy would have a letterbox. So whatever.
And I felt hurt by that. It's the only social media thing I have is letterbox.
It's the only one he has. But you know what? I think she's talking about the people that write full-on dissertations in their letterboxd reviews. I don't do that. I do a quippy little, 1 or 2 lines, a joke. I just try to write something funny. And the people that write those dissertations, they do complain about that. I've seen someone on Twitter said something like, Letterboxd has just turned into Twitter. Like everyone's just trying to write the funniest review now. And it's like, okay, well, someone's a little salty. Their dissertation's not getting, boosted as much,
right.
But relax. Thank you for the tip. Gail putting Ghostface on hold and him saying what was cinema masterpiece. Yes, I completely agree. That's the first time anyone's ever done that to Ghostface.
Oh yeah, in her apartment.
Like,
that was good. That was good.
Thank you for
bringing that up. Yeah, that was good.
That was fantastic.
That was a nice touch.
Even if she came out of the room where she was safe to go look for Ghostface, where he could have popped out anywhere, I get that complaint. But Gail's still smart. That whole, putting him on hold and calling him back, I wouldn't have thought to do that. I wouldn't have thought to do that. Oh, Matt doesn't need Saw in his life. Don't do it, Matt. The story's really interesting, and my dad really likes like police TV shows and stuff. It's very centered on the detectives and the case aspect of it and how that's all intertwined with the villain.
I mean, Corey, come on, let's be honest. Chucky, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like, really, how much lower can it go? I don't know. Well, but look, I'm going to think of you now, Corey, when I watch the first one and see if I agree with you that I shouldn't have gone to those depths.
Well, the first one's not as bad, I will say, as the rest of the franchise. They do get more and more intense, and but I still wouldn't classify Saw, probably any of the movies, as torture porn, but a lot of people do because it's just kind of a misconception.
Let's be honest. I've been in this world with you now for I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I guess, 4 years or
3.
so.
I started my channel a little over 3 years ago.
So in the horror world is what I'm talking about. And it's to the point now where, it's hard to drive me away from the screen and gross me out.
Well, yeah, talk about really. John Wick. John Wick is so much more brutal than most of the horror movies we've ever watched together. John Wick is crazy, which I loved it. I'd never seen the movies before. I was like a teenager or something, I think, when you tried to show me the first one, and we lasted about 10 minutes because, spoilers, in the first 10 minutes, like, they kill his dog. And I was like, we're going to need to go ahead and turn this one off, Chief. I need to put myself in timeout for putting spoilers. That's okay. He literally probably already forgot the name that you mentioned of the person that comes back. I didn't think your dad would ever watch the Saw movies. Well. How
I don't remember
change.
Anything. It's already gone.
Yeah, I know. It's already gone.
It's in one ear.
It's fine.
And out the other.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that was it for... Oh, thank you, Desi. I write dissertations in your comments. You do, but it's welcome there. On Letterboxd, I am just, I'm looking for a little laugh. I just want to see what people are saying about movies. Sometimes I do take the time and I do read the long reviews on Letterboxd because they're interesting. But no, in my comments, I love having discussion, and Desi is always leaving really good comments. I think I've pinned a couple of yours before. Mycadelic also leaves really good long comments, and yeah, love chatting. Oh, hey, Francisco's here. I love Matt's shirt.
Yep.
A lot of compliments. If only Mother had thought of me as well and got one for me. But anyway, we've been live almost 2 hours already. How are you feeling?
Oh, I've had a good time.
I think we've all had a good time. There's more. There's always more to discuss.
It's funny how much there is to talk about.
And tomorrow, even more. You'll need to do a little...
I'm thinking to myself.
You're going to need to do a little refresher because tomorrow at noon, we're going back to back because he leaves town Sunday. So tomorrow we are re-ranking the Scream franchise. So we're going to be...
That's going to be super hard for me.
Yeah, my ranking has actually changed since last year. I didn't really think that it was going to. I knew that Scream 5 was going to move around for me a little bit just because it was... I was going to wait for the recency bias to wear off and everything. But a couple other movies in the franchise have switched around as well on my last rewatch.
Did I rate them with you too?
Did you
rank them? Excuse me.
No, I haven't ranked them since Scream 5 came out. So we're doing a re-ranking.
Because I have all these Screams that I watched and I have notes about all of them. And I guess we just talked about we just talked about the franchise. We didn't rank them. So ranking them,
so we'll get my dad to do a little refresh course, go over your notes, and then by tomorrow we will be all ready to re-rank this franchise. And so if there were any comments that I missed, because we had a really big crowd here today, so I was really just reading the super chats, but anything that we missed we can talk about with Scream 6 tomorrow. And we'll hopefully see you there. 12 p.m., same time, same place. Okay, bye.